Yeah, I have the cameras in my house.
Ah, gotcha. Well, there goes my theft plans.
Change your password every 10 days. You'll thank me later.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're
Okay.
averaging it. They're averaging a leak every 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll change the password then.
Well,
And
it's Amazon, so that
Thanks for
makes
that.
sense.
yeah, that's part of the issue is that Ring was the ones that got busted for letting hackers into their system, and then people just like using the microphone ability to talk to people and their children and stuff like that. They
Oh,
got really bad.
that's messed up.
So yeah,
Wow.
if you have that attached to your router like you should, I would use a VPN on that as well. All that information I'm giving you is coming from my IT guy. He never steers me wrong.
Okay, so from now on, guys, let's just make an Amish village.
So
That's
if it's
it.
like hooked up to my Wi-Fi, like,
So how they can access is they can access it directly. Is how they've been doing it. But the easiest way to not let them access it directly would have a VPN on your router because they have to see that it's on a particular like system. It's weird.
IP.
So
how do you do a
for- yeah.
VPN or whatever? I'm ignorant to this stuff, so forgive me.
Me too. To be honest
So-
with you.
So VPN operates, yeah. Yeah, so VPN operates as a virtual private network. Basically, it sends all your information to that, and then it bounces it between 4 to 18 different IP addresses, which then sends a request to the server. So, like, not to like, I want to start at like a base level. So I just want to make sure. Do you know how, like, when you access a web page, what actually occurs? Like the actual process that occurs when you
I
you go on
think,
Google.
Yeah.
All right, so just to be safe for anybody who doesn't know, when you go into a web browser, right? Let's say Chrome. You open up Chrome, it opens to the Google page. When you type in a website, what it does is your computer sends a request to a server. That server then pings the root or the head end. So let's say you wanted to go to Netflix. You would type in Netflix, your computer would send a request, your computer would send a request to the server would then send a request to Netflix to provide whatever Netflix has at that moment as their page to the server to then give to you. What a VPN does is just pause there. So when that happens, your IP is your address. It's your return address. Basically, it's saying like this is where your information, your request should go to. What people can do is they can basically interrupt that, learn your IP address by basically looking at, like, if somebody intercepted your mail and looked at the return address kind of thing. And then from there, they can have your information. So anything that gets sent there to that address now files through whatever they're doing. So what a VPN does is it stops your requests that go out. So say you go to netflix.com, it will, instead of going directly to the server, which then requests directly from the website, it will go to the VPN or the virtual private network, which is a system of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of IP addresses and computers, basically. And not other people's computers, it's all like server based. So it will
just
go
pops it
there.
to a server.
Yep, and it will bounce between 8 or 9 of them, varying the IP each and every time. It could be just as little as, it has to be at least 6 times, or sorry, at least 4 times. So it has to bounce 4 times minimum. And then
I don't think anyone's joining us, by the way.
that's fine. Clutch isn't joining us, and I think Salty fell asleep. But
No, I'm
what it
still
will
here.
do, okay. So what it will do is it will then send that information to the server, which then it will request that information, at which point then that information gets sent to that IP, which then gets fed to your computer or whatever you're doing. When you go through that process, it protects you because at no point is anybody viewing your network usage, not even your ISP. So like Spectrum won't be able to see what websites you're accessing, what you're doing. It's also a really cool way to also get things from other countries. So like if, let's say Russian Netflix has a show that isn't available in the US, you can set your location your false location, your VPN, to be a Russian server, so that when Netflix sends back the response, it will be in response to a Russian request.
Is a VPN a piece of equipment?
No. It's a program you run, basically.
How do I do that with the?
So there's a lot of them.
How do I do it?
So there's a lot of them. It's generally a subscription service. You sign up for them, and a lot of them are done through extensions and plugins. So there's like NordVPN is a huge one. Glasswire is another big one. And like basically whenever you watch like anybody who does any kind of tech, generally they'll have like a YouTuber will be sponsored by, like I know for a fact, GameRanks is sponsored by NordVPN. So they
Express is the other big one.
ExpressVPN, that's also a good one. Nord and Express, I know both actually do both if you have the service, it's on unlimited devices. And you can do it not only on your home services, but you can also do it on your cell phone. So like putting on incognito mode literally does nothing but doesn't store history. Like your cell phone provider, like even police or anything like that.
It also against ad cookies.
Absolutely. And it also helps general ads, like ads as a general. But basically,
and it
as
helps
you
keep cron viruses off your phone, too.
Yeah, because they can't figure out exactly where it's going. So it like, and you're also, so whenever you make that request, you're going through not only your own antivirus and like malware protection, you're going through the VPN's malware protection as well, which means that it gets filtered down to a point where if it can get through theirs, I mean, you're kind of effed anyways, but regardless. But the way the VPN ends up working is to keep your information. And there was actually, I don't know if you remember or not, the, what was it? Oh my gosh, what was it? It's internet something. It was an act that they tried to pass that just got shot down. Oh my gosh, I have to look it up. Give me a sec. Can I leave this window? No, apparently I can't leave that window. Internet Anonymity Act. What was it? Oh my god, it was like, I even wrote to my senator about this. Oh my gosh.
I know what you're talking about.
But there was basically...
If we're going to play a game, we need to do it. I'm falling asleep.
We can just vibe out, just keep talking if you want to.
I'm going to go to bed then.
Alright, man. Have a wonderful night, man. Thank you for coming by.
I'm going to look into the VPN, and I'll change the password of my ring. Thanks for the heads up, Clutch.
Yeah, that's just super personal stuff you don't want out there in the world.
I appreciate it.
And if you haven't checked Discord and you haven't changed your Facebook passwords as well, there was 533 million.
Oh, I saw that.
Facebook's leaked. So change it just in case. It's better to be safe than sorry. I changed mine by 2 numbers.
2 numbers. What was it? There was an act. It was like the internet.
What's it about?
Something. So it was an act that was trying to be put in by the government, where basically ISPs could throttle specific like websites, could like
net neutrality.
monitor net neutrality. Thank you. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. That was one of the biggest things in our entire lives that I'm so happy as a law got shut down. Because I hate how they name stuff. It's like, hey, are you for net neutrality? The net neutrality bill was anti-net neutrality, but they called it net neutrality. So like people would vote the wrong way, even when they knew what they were talking about. It was ridiculous. But as far as the actual like requests and like internet security, at a certain point, once you're connected, that's it. Like unless like the one thing I know how to do would be to like remove a digital fingerprint in any way, shape, or form. So you would have to be on a disposable laptop with Linux.
So by
Run it-
disposable, he also means a computer that's never been hooked up to the internet ever.
Yes,
It can't be. Not even tested. So you have to build it.
correct.
Just clarifying.
And then from there, you have to run a operating software on the PC inside of Linux. From there, you have to run the operating system inside of Linux, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's been a long time.
They're known as operational sandboxes. It's a VR. It's a virtual
VM.
machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a specific name for it, but it's a type of virtual machine that you access through Linux. And a virtual machine is basically like the VPN without having a VPN. But basically, you have a virtual computer that you're accessing, and it's a direct link from that. You need to go to a public location. It can't be anywhere that can be, can't be anywhere that has anywhere linked to you. You would go to like a coffee shop in a different city than where you live. You would go there. You would not make a credit card transaction. If you were making a transaction at all, it would be cash only. You then, from there, would then access Tor or the Onion router, which then accesses the dark web, in which case you access the dark web, which will then allow you to access pretty much anything